Degree is a Harambe. Work with your classmates. They're not your enemies. They are
That's
your
profound.
teammates. Yeah. So work with them because it will change your academics for sure. That's for academics. For school life, try everything. Just like do as much. There's so much offered at uni. Try and do as much as you can do that you can handle, because there's just, I didn't do as much as I wish I did, and I regret it. I'm just like, I didn't join the hockey team because I was cold. I was just like, I'm not gonna wear shorts in this weather. I'm just not. And the reality is, like, I would have gotten warm on the pitch, you know. It was such a silly reason. Yeah. So yeah, I really wish I joined the hockey team. Like, I wish I took on all those opportunities that there was. There were so many opportunities to travel more and just like even join groups that of interest things like anime and stuff like that. I didn't join them because I was just like shy. I was like, oh, maybe everyone else knows more anime than me.
Sure.
You
But
know,
the whole point is to
literally, yeah. So it's for me, it's just like do everything that you think you might
do
like.
all the things,
Just like give everything a go. Yeah. About transitioning back, I would say, if you can, look for a way to stay a little bit longer. Take a small job. My sister did 1 year she did a 1 year in industry.
I see.
That's one thing I wish I did when I was at uni. Usually in the UK you can do your normal course, and then there's also your course but with a year in industry. So you do first year, second year, and then 1 year in industry, and then your final year.
Interesting.
So that's what my little sister did, which I think is a really, really good idea. It gives you a new perspective of what work looks like abroad, and just opens your mind to what's possible. Because I know many workplaces in Kenya are bleep. So I definitely recommend trying to work abroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if it's just
that's super neat. I didn't know they had that.
It's baked into the degree.
Exactly.
It's really, really cool. I love that. I don't know why I didn't.
I really think your parenting style is super neat. And if we think about it, obviously Africa is a big place.
Yeah.
But I love that you're choosing to share your story on your platform.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, just think more local, and then we can like Kenya, East Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. But if you were to kind of play it forward and think about how gentle parenting has the potential to shape the continent, you know, how do you see that style of parenting shifting the kind of human capital we have, or you know, the people that are like moving around the continent. What's your perspective on that?
I like to think of it in two ways. And I think about it horizontally. So like parents like me, by sharing what I do, why I do it, I think that it really does have an impact on how other parents are thinking about doing what they're doing. I always remember there was this conversation I had with a parent on Instagram. I'm not even sure if it was a man or a woman, but somebody DM'd me and was just like, I really admire how like you're not, I think it was a video of her like climbing something, and I was just like staying nearby but just allowing her to climb what she was climbing. And he was, I think it was a man. I don't know why I think it was a man, but I think it was a man. And he was just like, you know, I really admire that, because for me, my son, when he climbs the window and he takes the remote and throws it, and he keeps throwing it and he keeps doing it again and again and again, I get really upset, and I spank him or I pinch him, and he cries a lot, and I feel bad, but I need him to stop throwing the remote off from the window. And so I talked him through it, and we talked about, I tried to suggest to him things he could do, like try and suggest different things, or why the child might be doing that. Is he interested in how things fall? Is he interested in, you know, the throwing part, you know, and like, how can you redirect his interest? Because he's clearly interested in throwing things, or like maybe he's interested in the sound that the remote makes when it hits the floor. You know, there's so many reasons why he could be throwing that remote. Of course, he doesn't know the remote is expensive and it will need to be replaced if it breaks, you know. And again, it's your fault. If the remote is within his reach, it's your fault, you know, as the parent. Because if you don't want something to be broken, keep it out of your child's reach. True. End of story, True. And for me, it's about creating a yes space. Is there anything here that's a no? Take it out of the way.
Okay.
Bring it somewhere that the child can't reach. Anything that's in their reach, they're allowed to touch, you know. They're allowed to throw, they're allowed to do whatever they wish.
True.
So to me, it's about teaching or talking to my fellow parents, and that can influence the way that they parent, and in eventually change how they are as people. Even I believe that gentle parenting makes you a more empathetic person, because you also see how other people feel and act, because sometimes we assume things about others, and maybe it translates to the way we treat our children. So it goes kind of both ways. So if we treat our children with more empathy, maybe even you treat your peers with more empathy, your colleagues and other people, and I think that really changes the way we act towards each other, and I think it can really change our societies. The second way is with your child, showing them kindness and making them considerate about other people is will make them more considerate as as older people, as later there'll be people in the workforce, the people who change Kenya. Today I walked here. Wayakwe is not pedestrian friendly at all. Like it's actually a death trap. Like you can get hit at any moment. There's nowhere to walk. And that's just people who don't care about others. Most of Kenya walks. Very, like a small percentage of Kenya drive cars, can afford public transport, etc.
I know. I just saw the new sidewalk on James Gishuru and I was so happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's something so small, and that should be a part of our infrastructure.
Totally.
Because most of us walk, but it's just somebody who doesn't care. You just don't care enough to make to make space for the majority of the population. People who ride bikes, but you've only thought about yourself. You're not thinking about what the next person, what they'll do. So creating, helping build that empathy from when they're small, knowing that, everybody matters. It doesn't matter how small they are, how big they are, what they know, what they don't know. Really making them understand that everybody's voice is important. Your voice is important from all ages. Like whatever you say is important. Helping them know that and helping them pass that on to other people, I think we'll avoid such things in the future for us. So
I think the other thing, because I spent 13 years in the US and kind of going from Kenya, which you have to be very quiet and not seen, and then in the US it's like unless you contribute, you actually don't get a participation grade. And I've often thought about how for me that even in the workplace, I remember when I first moved back, and I was talking to my team, and I'm like, so what do you guys think? And it was blank stares, and I was like, okay, now let's unlearn.
Exactly.
Just having people who are not shy to contribute.
Exactly.
And creating spaces where people can actually give different perspectives, maybe even disagree.
Exactly.
But
your voice is heard.
But your voice is heard. I think that's super critical, because I just have trouble with I don't think any good comes out of places where there's not enough push and pull.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree with that.
So I think that's also another benefit of instilling that level of confidence and allowing your kids to vocalize what they're thinking. Because I think that just carries them through life, as you were saying, even in uni, working together with your classmates as teammates.
Absolutely.
And even in the workforce. So kudos to
Thank
you.
you.
And then I guess in closing, I want to ask a really interesting question, and you can take some time to think. So my hope for Africa in terms of gentle parenting is blank.
Okay. I've got something.
Okay.
So my hope for gentle parenting for Africa is probably that it would be more natural. It would come more naturally to people.
Wow.
Yeah, that it would be so common that it's just the other side of parenting would be oh, you're doing that.
Right.
Yeah, that it would be surprising that people are not parenting gently.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So where can people go to keep in touch with you, follow you, be with you on the journey?
I'm currently active on my Instagram, which is Tebi_Maritime.
Okay.
And I also tweet a lot, so
Okay.
I think it's Tebby_Maritime on there as well, but it could also just be Tebby Maritime.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
those are my two active social
Awesome.
medias.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time to
Thank
be
you.
with us
Thank
on
you
the
so much for having
podcast.
me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed our conversation.
Me too.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be following you, Ian and Sage,
My little
for more
family.
content, and we're waiting for the recipe book.
I've got you.
All right.
I'm working on it.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. All the best, Tebby.
Thank you.
Okay, cool.